Hi, Noteheads! Welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are still feeling okay about your 7th chords, because today we're going to be talking about extension chords. Extension chords can be thought of as in 2 parts, or as in 1 part and then 3 extra notes on top. First, we have our basic 7th chord, and then on top we have a 9th, an 11th, and a 13th. I prefer to think of them in terms of the 9th, 11th, and 13th, but you could easily say that this is a 7th chord with some form of a 2 chord stacked on top. The reason that it's considered a 2 chord is because we're thinking in the key of C, but it's not because we don't have any sharps or flats over here. This could have a million sharps or flats. It wouldn't matter, because we always classify our extension chords based on whatever the root of the chord is. In this case, it's the bottom note. So we know that when we're naming this chord, we're going to have a C something. Let's try to figure out what the quality of this chord is. All of the notes in this chord, because there are no sharps or flats, are native to the key of C major. So that means this is a C major, and then we find the highest unaltered note, which in this case is our 13th. This is a C major 13 chord. Here's what a C major 13 sounds like. However, when we see an extension chord, we almost always assume that there's going to be a dominant quality to the 7th chord, which means that our B is flat. That would make this a C 13. That's what a C dominant 13 sounds like. If we were to add another flat to the 3rd of the triad, that would make this a C minor 13. Here's what a C minor 13 sounds like. If you add a flat to the 5th, that would make this a C half diminished 13. Here's what a C half diminished 13 sounds like. And finally, if you're going to add one more flat to the B, you would come out with a C fully diminished 13. That's what a C fully diminished 13 sounds like. Sounds fairly easy, right? But at this point, we've only been playing around with the actual 7th chord that's embedded in this extension chord. So what happens when you start messing with the notes up here? If I added a sharp here, that would mean that this F right here is now the highest unaltered note in the chord, which means that we now have a C major 11. But what do we do about this sharp 13? It's actually fairly simple. We just throw it right here at the top and tell whoever's playing that there's a sharp 13. Here's what a C major 11's sharp 13 sounds like. Now what happens if we've got something else in here? Like, oh, I don't know, a random D flat. Well, that would just be a sharp 13, flat 9. What a C major 11 sharp 13 flat 9 sounds like. Let's try to name this chord. Because the C is the bottom note of our chord, we're going to have C as the root. Then we think C, E, G, and B flat make up what kind of 7th chord? Dominant. So that means that when we find the highest unaltered note of this chord, we're just going to write it in. In this case, it happens to be the 13th. Next, we take care of all of our altered pitches. In this case, we have a sharp 11. Here's what a C13 sharp 11 sounds like. Very jazzy. It really is that simple. All you have to do to name the chord is 1, focus on what the root of the chord is, 2, determine what kind of quality 7th chord you have, and 3, list out any sort of altered notes you have. Now that we've talked a little bit about how to name these extension chords, we can talk about how they relate to the major and minor modes. If you're not sure what a major and minor mode is, you can check out my other video. The link is in the description box below. If you build an extension chord on the first note of the scale, you're going to end up with a major 13. Now remember, if you build a chord on the first note of the scale, you're going to be in an Ionian mode. If you build an extension chord on the second note of the scale, you're in a Dorian mode, and you're going to end up with a minor 13. On the third note of the scale, you're in a Phrygian mode, and you have a minor 11, flat 9, flat 13. When you're in Lydian mode, you get a major 13, sharp 11. In Mixolydian mode, you end up with a dominant 13. In Aeolian mode, you get a minor 11, flat 13. And then finally, if you build on the 7th note of the scale, in Locrian mode, you will end up with a half-diminished 11, flat 13. Luckily, in minor key signatures, there are only 3 modes that you really need to be aware of. The first is built on the first scale degree. It's the melodic minor mode, and you end up with a minor major 13. Remember that this is a minor triad with a major 7th on top, and all of the rest of the notes are native to the key. A chord built on the 4, Lydian Mixolydian mode, is going to give you a dominant 13, sharp 11. And then finally, when you have a chord that's built on the 7th note of a minor scale in the super Locrian mode, you get, a half diminished 7, flat 9, flat 11, flat 13. But that is too many words, so we just call it altered. To test your skills, see if you can name this chord. The first thing that we need to do when we name this chord is find out what the root is. Here, it's F, so we're thinking in the key of F, which has 1 flat, the B flat. Here, we see a minor 7th chord, because the A and the E are both flat. The 9th chord is flat, so is the 13th. But because B is native to the key of F, that's natural, which means that 11 is our highest unaltered note, followed by flat 9, flat 13. That's what an F minor 11, flat 9, flat 13 sounds like. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any more music theory questions, or if you just want to say hi, my Instagram is linked in the description box below. If you want to see any more of my music theory videos, you can see them on my channel. Bye!